haven't had a flat tire in a while, and I started off the week with a flat tire. This was when I was picking up this trailer and noticed that the tire was flat when I did a walk around and a pre-trip. Another blown tire fixed. Yeah, sometimes when you're driving, you get a what in the world moment, and this was one of them. Crazy, huh? Yeah, sometimes it's good to think things through, but then there are times when I think people overthink things. I'm talking about people that stay in the sidelines because they don't take action, because they're being too cautious, or they want perfection. And sometimes that disables you from taking action, taking the initiative, implementing what you need to implement to make things work. It's very important that we make decisions, that we are alive, that we are participating in an endeavor, that we are working with our energy, and it's a choice that we want to align with. Because when you align with those choices, when you are in agreement with the work you're doing, it will initiate energy inside of you so that you could propel yourself forward. So what do I mean with all this? I mean that first, agree on a course of action. Second, implement that action, take that action. And third, keep a positive attitude throughout the process. And this will help you avoid being on the sidelines. When you are on the sidelines, yes, you avoid potential risk, but you also miss out on potential chances. And if you live your life cautious and on the sidelines over and over again, you may find yourself shortchanging what your life could have been. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to live with too many regrets. I mean, everybody's going to have some regrets, but you want to minimize those. So at this point in time, what are you doing? Are you griping? Are you on the sidelines? Are you just watching things happen because you're not going to be that guy that gets in XYZ predicament or whatever, So I want to encourage you guys, don't just be on the sidelines. Yes, be cautious, take time to think things through, get a good rhythm going, but make a decision and implement that decision. And don't live life with regrets. Live life with positive passion. So most of us truck drivers have to face some kind of problem almost every day. And I don't think two loads or two assignments are ever the same. So some of the issues I've already faced this week, one of them was the obvious, where you're waiting either to be loaded, waiting either to be unloaded, just waiting. You're usually at a distribution center, and it can be nerve-wracking because sometimes you need to get to a certain destination by a certain time, and that waiting will eat up your clock. And us truck drivers, we get 11 hours of driving maximum a day, and we get 14 hours maximum on duty hours. So we could be working 14 hours at most in one 24-hour period. The longer you wait, the more it eats up your clock, and that could have a detrimental effect on your next delivery or the destination you need to get to shut down. And so we do this thing, what we call trip planning, and we plan, point A, point B, point C, pretty much we lay out our route and the amount of time it's going to take. But when you have these delays, it just messes everything up. So you have to have contingency plans. So you have to have, if this doesn't work, then we're going to do that. If this is delayed, then we're going to do that. So that's kind of like the mentality behind some of the trip planning and what goes on behind the scenes with trying to be on time and trying to get to the right locations in the given time that you have. Now, another thing that I faced yesterday was a receiver that unloaded me, but decided to leave all the pallets inside my trailer. So basically, they removed the load out of my trailer, and then they went ahead and put back in the empty pallets. So yeah, it sounds like no big deal. But for us drop and hook or us guys that have to keep going with this trailer, this particular trailer, I have no place to drop these pallets off. So when I got to my location, obviously I had these pallets in there, and I asked them, hey, is there any way you could remove these pallets for me? Or if you have like a pallet jack or something, I'll move them out. And they said, unfortunately, they have nothing there. They use these robots to put our loads in, and they don't have an available forklift or an available pallet jack that could pull out those empty pallets. So what does that mean? That means either I have to find a location where I can drop these pallets off, or I have to switch out trailers. Lucky for me, they had an empty trailer there, and I got to switch it out. I called it in to my support staff, and they were going to send somebody to pick up that trailer with the pallets. Another delay. These are things that constantly pop up. And no two loads are the same, and no two problems are the same. You have and over time, yeah, some problems do recur, especially the waiting time. The waiting happens all the time. That's one recurring problem. But some of these other problems, once or twice a year you face them, but it is what it is. And so as you get more experience, you realize what potential problems could arise. But at the end of the day, a problem is a problem, and it holds you back or it deters you from having a smooth day. And I kid you not, I have a lot more days where we have to solve problems, where we have to come up with solutions for situations, than a smooth cookie cutter day where you go from point A to point B to point B to point C, and you don't have any delays and you don't have any scenarios that come up where you have to fix something. So that's the nature of truck driving. And if you think it's always, oh yeah, that's cool, you drive and you make money and you cover distance and see the country and blah blah blah, but you know what, it may be something new and enjoyable in the beginning, but as time goes by, the grind, you really feel that grind. I would suggest that if you don't have the stomach to be a problem solver constantly and deal with hiccups and deal with delays and deal with surprises, this job is not for you. The amount of BS you have to handle, you need a big capacity. So a lot of good, hardworking people will leave this job because they start calculating and feeling like, you know what, it's not worth it. I'd rather do something else. Just keep that in mind if you are considering becoming a truck driver. Just to do a quick recap of my drives this week, started off in SoCal with pretty decent weather, and then it ended up turning cloudy and eventually raining, and then raining a lot, and then beautiful skies again, and rinse and repeat pretty much all week. It was, for the most part, pretty non-eventful other than the rain and the winds and whatnot, but still some incredible, beautiful scenery. What's going on, my people? So this is I think my fourth attempt at making this video. Just had technical difficulties left and right. It's just one of those weeks. I had drama from day one all the way till the filming of this video. So started off the week with a flat, and then had off and on rain weather, and almost every assignment had issues. One of the pinnacles of the pin in the butt moments is when I had a pickup in Paris. It was Paris, California. So I go over there and they tell me that the load's already been picked up the day before, and that I don't have a load to pick up. And so I call my backroom staff, and then obviously they took care of me, but I had to sit there for a couple hours, trying to get an assignment, and they just took forever. Anyway, it ended up being 3 round trips to NorCal and back. So 6 runs in total, 2,311 miles. A lot of rain in central and northern California, and so it was challenging drives, beautiful and scenic, but challenging. So yeah, thankful for the week because I finished in 5 days, pretty much about 70 hours, 5 days, almost 14 hours each day. So yeah, it was a good week. You know how I switched over to starting from Tuesday and ending on Saturday? It hasn't been that bad. So I'm hoping that it continues like this because my schedules are kind of set where I kind of need that Monday off. Just things like getting a haircut, things like taking care of stuff that you have to do only when places are open during normal business hours. If you're working, Monday through Friday, Saturday, you only have the weekend to catch up, and a lot of times you can't take care of some of the things that you need to take care of. Anyway, that was just a quick recap on how the week went. God bless all of you. Peace. And thank you for following me on this journey. I hope you guys are safe out there if you guys are driving. And until next time, cheers.